Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be part 2 to the Chevy Duramax Chevy Colorado body lift. It does work. I got the 1.5 inch body lift. I don't think you could go any higher than that. I don't think it would work. The body lift that I got is the Zone Off-Road 1.5 inch body lift. So it says on the website it does not work. You can absolutely make it work. I've only done the front half, which is the part that I was worried about. Obviously the back half's going to be, for the most part, the same as all the gas engines, but this is the diesel truck. You can see the 1.5 inch difference right now. I got the front cab up. Really doesn't look that bad. It doesn't show a whole lot more frame than it did before, especially if you're just standing back here. I got, yeah, to me it doesn't. I mean, you got to get weight on there. So I'm running 32s right now, and gonna be putting the 33s on. So that's why I wanted the extra 1.5 inches. I'll do another video on the entire setup of the truck, like what I actually have, all the lift and everything, and how it works. Also how it tows. I've got a, I don't know if you can see that over there. That's my travel trailer. It's a 31.5 foot travel trailer. I have pulled it with this truck with 32s, and I'll do a full lift and tow video, because I know a lot of people want to know what they could use it for. So anyways, back to the body lift. I don't know what all I covered, so main things to watch out for is in here. All this needs to be pulled loose. This is just a kind of bracket. It's just plastic clips. I just took a pry bar and just went underneath the whole thing and pop. And a couple of these lines here. This is going to be part 2 video. I've got a part 1 that's going to explain some of this too. These lines need to be clipped loose because it's fuel line, brake line stuff from the frame. So the biggest issue, what they tell you, is going to be this ground wire. Mine I got back on, but it's really tight. I'm probably going to put an extension here. It's just too tight for me. That's not good. It works, but I don't like it long term. So the part that really they tell you the reason it doesn't work is because of that fan shroud. You're looking at a fan shroud. I know it's hard to tell. It's dirty. That's your fan shroud. It goes up with your core support body. What doesn't go up is the clutch fan that the diesel has. Nor does this piece here, which is your fan guard. It stays with your fan. So what that does is this little cover right here, it won't make sense until you go look at your truck, but at the bottom of your fan shroud, there's a half moon guard. That black piece from there to there is half the size of your fan on the bottom. So it won't move a whole lot, but it's removable from the factory. There's 3 little, one at the side up here, one at the very bottom, and one on the other side. It's removable. You just push a clip over and it pops out, and that bottom half circular piece comes off, so that if you ever needed to take the fan shroud off, the bottom half comes off, so you could unbolt it here and one on the other side. And the fan shroud, you move your radiator hose out of the way, and the fan shroud would just lift up out of the truck without really having to remove all this and your fan and all that, which works out perfect, because what I've done to do the lift, you need to go ahead and take the fan shroud loose so it doesn't get in a bind. Pop the piece off of the bottom, which I don't even know if I can show you now. If you got the truck, it'll all make sense. Yeah, that's the half right there, right there. I'm touching it, you can see that half. that piece from the factory will just pop out of there, 3 little snaps. So I popped this bottom circular piece loose. I did the body lift, which brought the shroud up, and the fan and everything is actually outside of that distance at the bottom because that piece comes off. Went ahead and finished the body lift. Take that half circle piece, bring it out, cut the little tabs. They stick up maybe like, I don't know, like a 1/2 inch maybe. And I just took a Sawzall and cut them off. Go back in there with some self-tapping screws. Push the half moon piece back up until you're pressed up against your flexible rubber at the bottom. Down there at the bottom, that's flexible rubber down there. And I just reset that half moon piece until it's sealed off again. And then I drilled into the fan shroud with 3 self-tapping screws. There's a ton of space between here and your radiator, so as long as you only have like a 1-inch long screw, it works great. I'll show you what I use. I'm sure everybody knows what these are, but self-drilling lathe screws. I use them for everything. It's already got like a washer built in. It's Phillips head, little self-tapping. They're 1 inch long. So basically, because that piece is on the bottom of that shroud, it allowed me to reseal the whole bottom half, so I'm not losing airflow from the bottom. Now the top, when you lift your truck, you create an 1.5 inch gap right here. I think that's going to be an easy fix. I'm just going to put a nice piece of rubber. I'll contour it all the way around with a couple self-tapping screws as I go around. That'll seal it, and then I'll contour it down to this guard, because this does not turn. This is solid, so I think I'll just contour it down to the guard. And the same thing, when it tucks over, I'll put a few screws in there, and that'll finish the top half that got opened up. So the bottom half, you reuse the piece. You gotta take it off before you lift the truck, or you'll smash everything. So everything else fit back. You know, this came up, but it doesn't hurt anything. Like, you can't even tell it moved up. I'll tell you, this piece would have gotten tight because you're bringing this comes up with the body. If you just take this, and it's not going to show up, you can't tell, but this bolt is no longer sticking up. You can't even put the nut back on it. This box, well, I'll show you, it's tilted back like this. So if I push it back down, you can see this hose flex. I don't want that tension on it. It's fine, but as it ages and dries or whatever, it'll probably cause a spot. I'm fine with it being pulled back, because that's where it goes through the wall, and it kind of scoops up like this when it goes into the fender well. So it literally it only goes so far, and it locks, and that keeps the tension off. This is not an issue at all. I thought raising 1.5 inches, this wasn't going to go back on, but it totally goes back on. All the wires hook back up. Just leave that off. Put your bolt back on here. It's not like this thing's going to fall out of the engine or anything. But everything else works. All this works. There's plenty of space. And then relocate this. Let me see if I can change. Oh, that's nice. So this used to go on this stud right here. I just put this stud. I don't know what this was from, but basically just a piece of play. Go to Lowe's, get you a bracket. It's got another hole down here, and I just remounted it. So I dropped it down 1.5 inches. Same thing over here. Originally it was on that stud. I just dropped it down, one of those little self-tapping 1-inch screws, shot it back in. This thing is like solid. It's my water for the radiator, and that keeps this hose here from being tight. This is back to like normal, because this is a plastic tee. We all know over time and heat, that thing's gonna break eventually. I didn't want to put no extra stress on it. So real simple, lower your water deal. Go ahead and just take this bolt off. You won't even have to remove this, just let it do its thing, it'll be fine. Remove the bottom, move that bottom half piece off your fan shroud, cut the little tabs off, do your body lift, go underneath there, have somebody just kind of hold it up till it presses against that rubber piece on the bottom, and it reseals all your radiator except from right here where it starts opening this gap. And like I said, a little piece of rubber, just literally it's just going to be here to here. It's just the length of my fingers probably, and that's going to solve that. It just won't be able to suck in here before it pulls through your front radiator stuff. So yeah, so far everything works. All I got left is the back half, which I don't see any problem there. Everything back there should have plenty of slack. It comes with bumper brackets to redo the bumper. I think it comes with, from what I can tell, it came with a bracket that goes on top of my receiver hitch here to make the space kind of filled in and maybe reattach or something like that. But yeah, it's doable. It's on. So they say it can't be done, but it can. It's really not that bad. I think the worst part is just dealing with cutting loose all your plastic up here. There's a million screws got to come loose, and brackets, which I didn't use because inside here I've done cut and put a plate and all kinds of stuff for this little winch. So I don't really have a reference for y'all for that. You'll have to follow the directions. Sorry, I'm not very good at videoing. I hope this helps. This is going to be the part 2, but yeah, it's already half done. This was the part I was worried about. It works. So if you got any questions, just put them in the comments. It's going to take me a little while. I'm busy doing, I don't know, everything. So, but I promise I'll get on there and try to send everybody a message. It may take me a week or two, so just keep checking back, or make sure you got notifications so it'll show that I messaged you. But, and again, when I finish this, I'll go over everything about the entire lift and how it tows and everything. So yeah, hope it helps, guys. Later.